Welcome back to the PBC. It's your favorite channel. It's your boy PBK9s giving it to you the way I always do, fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some gonna like it, some ain't. You know how I do it. I just give it to you and don't really worry about too much who don't like it. We got to talk about something real quick today. You know, and some of my brothers don't understand, so we're gonna help them understand. Big salute and big shout out to everybody down in the chat. Y'all tune in to the interview Monday night. Monday night interview. We talking about city dogs and country dogs, the difference between city dogs and country breeders and city breeders. We just talking a little bit of dog talk. So y'all tune in Monday night. It's an all or nothing broadcast. All or nothing broadcast. Tune in Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. But right now, man, I gotta speak about this. I made a post where I said pedigrees don't make these dogs. The dogs make the dogs. One brother got up under there and said, if pedigrees don't make it, why Mr. Boudreaux? Let me stop you right here at the beginning of this sentence. And let me ask you something. You know, is anybody on this good old green earth perfect? Now next thing I'm gonna ask you, does everything Mr. Boudreaux and them did, everything that the brothers from the past did, do you think that was everything was right just because they did it? Like because Mr. Tudor did it, you think everything he did was the right way to do it? Or he did it his way? Not worrying about what you think. Everything Mr. Boudreaux did was the right way to do it or the best way to do it? Y'all always bring up these old folk and because these old folk did it this way, you want to do it this way. And I'm about to say something, hoping this don't hurt some of y'all brothers' feelings out there. Did Mr. Boudreaux do it that way? How many grand champions did Mr. Boudreaux had? How many champions did Mr. Boudreaux had? How many dogs offer champions? How many dogs did his dog produce champions and grand champions and champions and grand champions off his line of dogs? Had a great line of dogs. Can't say nothing about them. But what I can say is, I'm asking you a question. How many grand champions did his dog produce? How many champions did the grand champions produce? How many more champions and grand champions did the champions produce? Is what I'm asking you. So it's obvious that he didn't have the answer to everything. And you can go from kennel to kennel saying the same thing. How many champions, grand champions they got off this one? How many champions and grand champions they got off this champion or grand champion? If the yard not full up with grand champions, they didn't have the key. That's everybody. You do what you want to do. You do what you feel like is right when it comes to your dogs, when it comes to your breeding program. But if you had the answer, why the fuck you ain't got champion after champion after champion after champion to the old schoolers? So when I ask you, my brother, is when are y'all gonna get tired of because the old schooler did it that way, you want to do it that way? I guess you just ain't gonna be no better than them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't live by that code that you live by, homie. You know what I'm saying? I respect the game from the past, but this is a new era. You know what I'm saying? I can't worry about what they did in the past. I can't throw up whenever somebody's telling me something that I don't understand. Pedigrees don't make the dogs make the dogs. Because you wouldn't believe how many brothers and sisters in today's time will look at this pedigree and think that your puppy's supposed to come out nice, ill. When I say nice, I don't mean pretty. You know what I'm saying? I mean real bulldogs, working bulldogs. Just because you look at this ped and say something, that's why I tell y'all, know what the fuck you running. Know the dogs that you dealing with. The dogs, knowing the dogs ain't knowing the pedigree. Oh, this Mayday, this Barracuda, this so-and-so. Yeah, if you've been dealing with them dogs for a long period of time, then you know what you dealing with. That's why I tell you, man, it's very important. Everybody don't know the dogs that they're dealing with. They know the pedigrees. They know of the dogs they're dealing with. And they know the pedigrees, how to read a pedigree. But pedigrees don't do the work. No matter how good that pedigree look, I can take this dog to weight pull, the pedigree ain't gonna make no damn difference. I can take this dog to treadmill, that pedigree don't make a damn difference. I take that dog to hog hunt. What the fuck is the pedigree gonna do when we get in the woods? My brother. So that's why I ask you. And that's why I tell you. I try to give you some knowledge, but you bring that old school shit into the comments. So I got to give you a little bit of content, my brother. and maybe he added to what you thinking. Maybe you understand something a little bit different. If they had the key, if they had the golden recipe, why the fuck all them old schoolers ain't got number champions beside their name, grand champions beside their name? It's because, they did what they thought was best for their program, what they thought was best for what they was doing. It didn't always work, and sometimes it did work. So it's a difference. I understand that. Back in the days, them brothers didn't give a damn about no pedigrees. The pedigrees was there. When I say pedigrees don't matter, that don't mean I don't want a dog with papers. That don't mean I don't represent my dog bloodline. But the pedigree tell you how he's bred. He's bred, but you're not going by how he's bred. I mean, you're not going by the dog himself. You're going by what you see written on paper. And I keep telling you so many times that paper can be changed from 10 years, the next 10, the next 20. Now your pedigree saying something else. The dogs make the dogs. At the end of the day, you just got to understand the dog game, man. Like I said, and stop thinking and acting like, when you see a brother out here representing his shit, stop acting like, at least keep that over there when you want to go back 30 years and talking about what the hell they did and compare it to what I'm doing. That ain't my style, dog. Like I always tell y'all, I wasn't made to play the son role. We can walk through that. We can walk through the fire together. Or you can keep your ass back there and I'm going to go through it regardless. But I ain't about to walk behind you. I ain't made for the sun role. Some of y'all forever want to play the sun role. One thing I know, this bulldog game, you got some that's going to be this way. And you got some that's going to be this way. Some that's going to be this way. And some that's going to just do it this way. I just know how I do it and what I got going on as far as my dogs. And like I said, the dogs make the dogs. Exactly what I said. When I post mine, you see how they look. My pedigree don't make them. My dogs make them. My dogs got pedigrees though. Every last one of them got pedigrees. Yes. So pedigrees are important when necessary. Pedigrees ain't important when it's time for work. Pedigrees ain't important when it's going to breeding and all that. See, and exactly what me and my brother was speaking about on the interview. A lot of y'all get it twisted and think, oh, because I speak about a pedigree, because I speak about it. Listen here, man. I'm dealing with consistency over here. Like I said, I can't help the next person don't know what the hell they're running or don't got many years in the dogs they're dealing with. I'm not trying to put myself in that level. I'm not even going, like I say, there's no taking back steps for me. Done been through all that. I know what it is. You can't tell me there's no consistency when he's dealing with certain lines that I know there's consistent coming from. Because I done seen it already. Because I'm talking to some of y'all on these dog shows. What you think? The consistency stops when I'm breeding it and know how to breed it? Like when brothers are saying, oh, the Mellow Yellow and Fletcher might be too tight. Why the fuck, excuse me, but why in the F would they be too tight when I'm starting to breed it, when these brothers already bred these dogs tight for 30 years already? But when I get it, it's too tight. Oh, breed it one time and then do this and do that. Man, listen, I know what the hell I'm running. I know I've been paying attention. I ain't one of the ones that sit right here and want to be a do boy. I'm paying attention to what's going on. I pay attention to what I like. I don't lie to myself because I spent money on it. I ain't trying to waste my money. That's why I tell y'all I ain't looking for anything when it comes to these dogs. I know what I'm looking for. When I want to add to my program, so I mean, everybody gonna handle it different. Everybody gonna do it different, and everybody looking for different things. Now, the only way the pedigree can help you when you go into one of them dog shows, one of them ADBA shows or ADPR shows, only way a pedigree can help you if the brother who judging or the sister who judging likes that particular line of dogs. And now your pedigree might help you, because it ain't no work involved. When you talking about working, the pedigree don't help. It ain't no work in the ADBA confirmation show. That's exactly what it is, confirmation. Work, anything that got something to do with working, pedigree don't, the pedigree don't motherfucking matter. Pedigree ain't nothing but a title to your car, man. Your car is a so-and-so, whatever it is. All your pedigree is a title. That title don't make the car run. That title don't pull up when you pulling up on the scene on it. That title don't do all that. You got to do it. The car does it. When you work the car how it's supposed to be worked. So, I mean, brothers has got to open. Y'all don't got no understanding of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Any brother who know bulldogs know what the hell I was talking about. The pedigrees don't make the dogs, and I'm going to say it again. The dogs make the dogs. You know? You ain't going to never get no pedigree piece of paper, nothing but ink and paper that's going to go work for you when it's time to work. I need a protection dog. Bring the pedigree. Let me train the pedigree for protection. Let me train the pedigree in obedience as well. You know? Hell, I can't train the pedigree to do nothing. Or let me see, stay. I can't train them to stay, but I can't get that motherfucker to come here. He'll stay. That's the only damn thing I could train a pedigree to do. Stay on that damn dresser. Stay on that table. But being that he understands stay so well, I just can't figure out how come he won't come. When I say come, when I say heal, why he won't move? Do you think Mr. Boudreaux can give us the answer to why that pedigree won't come work for me? How about Mr. Crenshaw? Your favorite old schoolers. Let me name them. Tant, you know? You think Garner could give me a tip to how to get that pedigree to come work for me? One of y'all ask him. But don't ask him and tell him I'm talking shit about me like y'all like to do to start shit. Ask him, can he give me a tip to how I can get that pedigree to work? Not breeding work. Get that pedigree itself to get off that table and come do something for me. Which one of your old schoolers that you know of can get that pedigree to work? Mr. Tudor, can he get it? Mr. Colby, can Mr. Colby tell me the secret tip and trick to get that pedigree to come run a circle for me? So why y'all keep bringing them up for? The dogs of the day are the dogs of the day. The dogs of the past was the dogs of the past. These brothers out here, you got bright brothers, you got real scholars out here. And then you got the ones who know you got to slow it down for them. You got breeders out there who don't focus on starting a family of dogs. When I say a family, I mean no matter if it's scatterbred, no matter how it's bred, you're taking 2 or 3 dogs, maybe 4 dogs. So you're taking a small group of dogs and you only breeding those dogs. A lot of people not trying to breed like that, and then you got others that do. Some people want 100 bloodlines on the yard. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. Whatever you want, they got it. If you want to buy something, I got this. You want to buy some cotton ham red, man, I got this. You want to buy this kind of red boy Jocko, red boy, I got this. You want to buy the Eli stuff, I got this. You want to buy, some people like that. But when you dealing with them kind of dog folk, don't get it twisted from when the folk that's out here taking one group of dogs and studying them and breeding them year after year, getting great dogs. And don't get twisted by these YouTube channels that's talking about, half of them talking shit they don't know about certain dogs. I mean, if I don't know it, I don't know it. And some of the stuff we speak on is opinion. But at the same time, a lot of it is fact. It's a big difference between using one group of dogs for 30 years and buying a dog from every bloodline for 30 years. It's a big difference. This year you got Wild Side. Next year you got Crossroad. All the time you got at least 10 different breeders dogs on your yard. We dealing with different kind of breeders, dog. I came up with different kind of breeders. That was more Crossroad was more like that. He came from New York. He was more like that. But all the other brothers outside of Walkmore that I was dealing with, raising a family, raising a family, focusing on a family. That way you can understand what consistency is. A lot of y'all can't understand consistency because you never dealt with a family of dogs that long to see it, to say, oh, you got confidence in. Well, why you think I'll take the smallest dog off a litter in a certain breeders that I do? Or I'll take the last one that nobody wants in certain breeders I do, because I know what consistency is, you know? And I seen it. It ain't no damn magic trick. You do the right kind of breedings throughout years, you do the right kind of breedings, you can consistently get great dogs. But if you never was around consistency, you're going to think it's a fairy tale. You're going to think it's a myth. Nah, a myth is working 12 dogs at one time. A myth is half of this bullshit these brothers be up here talking about. Believe me, consistency is real. These bulldogs, certain bulldogs with certain lines, drop them when you breed them every single damn time. And like I said, it ain't a whole lot of old schoolers on this YouTube shit that's got families of dogs from back in the days. See, you talking about breeding 3 or 4 breedings. Okay, I'm just breeding mellow yellow them mama, saber 2000, mellow yellow them, frog, because frog got frog coming. Frog is a pure big John dog, little John dog as well. You know what I'm saying? You hear that name, you gonna hear that name this year, frog. PBK9s frog. You know, but you thinking these two breeders, I'm expecting something different than what came over the past 30 years? I know what's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? That's why you think I'm just talking. Anybody, I hope you don't think I'm talking when I'm saying them yard starters. You can breed them dogs with any damn thing. They bred so tight and they bred right. You know, when it comes to the dogs that they coming down off of. My brother talking about them pedigrees, right? Talking about them pedigrees. Now, you know, how many times you seen a decorated pedigree and the dog don't produce worth a damn and the dog wasn't shit? So so you from the group of brothers that's basically saying if this dog cur out, if he do whatever he do, his pedigree gonna keep you from culling him. His pedigree gonna keep you from getting rid of him back in them days. Because he bred like this. Cause man, how many brothers that you hear from back in the days, and you even heard me tell you stories. It's a lot of dogs I don't know exactly how they was bred, but I know they came from certain people. You know, because we didn't worry about the pedigrees like that. But yeah, I knew Yellow when Yellow was out and all that stuff, and Fatty before he went and fought Barracuda. You know, before all that stuff happened, we wasn't. Oh, give me the papers with the dog. But if we not sitting there studying no damn papers, like I said, it was a message board that just came up when they first started doing the internet. When they had the CDs, you could put the CDs in and do the internet and all that stuff. They had a message board that was out. It wasn't no online peds. It had all the bloodlines up there. It might be like Big John. It might be STP Buck. It might be Chinaman and Big John crosses. It had all of the tabs. You click on the tab, and when you click on that tab, you be in the message group. You be in the room basically with the people that want to talk about Frisco and these kind of dogs, or Jeep dogs and these kind of dogs, or pure Jeep dogs. They had little tabs for each one of them. It had different crosses. I forgot the name of the site, but it had a little bumblebee on it, if I am mistaken. Either a bumblebee or a baby dressed in a bumblebee. One or the other. But folk wasn't worrying about them pedigrees, man. And that's why brothers got better working dogs. You know what I'm saying? Brothers got better working dogs because they was focused more on the dogs. Like they always say, man, a good dog is where you find it. You know what I'm saying? A pedigree, they never made that up. A good pedigree is where you find it. You can find a good pedigree. You go to certain yards and you ask them for it, they gonna give it to you. That's why they always say you ask them what they got for sale. You don't go there saying, oh, I want a red boy dog, or I want a Jeep dog, or I want a Jeep dog that go back in, or I want a Jeep dog with some midnight cowboy in it, and a little bit of that in it, and a speck of that in it. Now these folk gonna get you what they can see. Papers weren't like they is now. It was 80 bed came along after a while, but it wasn't strict how it is now. Back in them days, you know, and especially when you're talking about these older brothers that was doing the dogs and stuff like that. All they had to do was do a write up on it. My thing is the dog does the work. The dog produces. The pedigree don't produce. So y'all stay safe out there, man. Hey, like I always say, hey, some gonna like it and some ain't. The dogs do the talking. The pedigrees don't. At the end of the day, the pedigrees, like I said, is nothing but a car title, house title, whatever type of title you get to show ownership of that dog, showing where that dog came from. You know, if you like the dog, I always say this: you would go wrong chasing the pedigree and you don't really like the dog. But how can you go wrong if you like the dog and the pedigree ain't what you really want, pedigree wise? But the dog is he looks to be everything you want. You think you're gonna have a better chance of going wrong then by going after the dog or going after the pedigree, chasing after the ped, and the dog ain't really. Now you got the puppies chasing after the pedigree. You know where you got it from first? PB K9s on the PBC, and we out.